Novo Nordisk is officially suing HIMS for their copy drugs or medications, especially in the obesity market. In today's video, we're going to be highlighting why I still do believe Novo Nordisk is a great buy for the rest of 2026. And the upside potential, I think, is still pretty massive, even though earnings didn't go as expected yesterday. But again, in my opinion, it actually did go as expected. Maybe the fact that the CEO kind of gave a little bit of bearish tones, it made a lot of investors kind of turned off, selling their positions and then rotating into other assets. And hopefully not HIMS, but again, let's go ahead and talk about everything Novo related. Now, remember as always, never financial advice, just trying to put you guys on the plays that I am in. If you're new around here, smash the like button and also consider subscribing to the channel. Now, Novo Nordisk is up 3.63% on the day. Over the last 5 days though, remember, we were actually looking very, very good, followed by an overall market pullback. And of course, with the poor earnings report, as well as the CEO remarks on 2026 operating income, as well as potential revenue drops that they're anticipating, it made the stock continue to slip throughout all of next week. But a really nice recovery from the $43 bottom, which hopefully some of you got to time and get your positions. We're now hovering right around the $50 mark at $49.37. But HIMS is getting absolutely beat up right now. It's down 16% on the day today on market. Today's Monday, of course, February 9th. And then we're seeing that in the last 5 days, down about 27%, 39%, and then 61% over the last 6 months. But what is going on? It's this here that was reported on market open today. And it started being touched on late last week. Novo Nordisk sues HIMS and HERS over copycat versions of wegovy drugs. HIMS stock falls 18%. Novo Nordisk is asking the court to permanently ban HIMS from selling compound versions of its drugs that infringe on the company's patents and is seeking to recover damages. The move escalates the feud between Novo Nordisk and HIMS, which said on Saturday it will stop offering its newly launched obesity pill copycat after facing scrutiny from federal regulators, including the FDA commissioners, and legal threats from Danish drug maker. Novo Nordisk estimated in January that as many as 1.5 million Americans are using the compounded GLP-1s. So I saw in the comment section, a lot of people were starting to panic, especially Novo Nordisk shareholders. I saw it, guys. I saw the comments. People were like, what about HIMS? What about the generic compounds that are coming that are much cheaper out of pocket or even with prescription? Where does that put Novo Nordisk's medication with having the first to market GLP-1, oral GLP-1, I should say? Where does that put all of us? Well, again, in my opinion, I said it's still an opportunity when you have a company that is able to beat every other competitor, including Lilly, by the way. Eli Lilly wasn't even first to market for an oral GLP-1, and any of the generics that will come after still don't have first mover advantage. Make sure you always keep that in your back pocket, especially if you're trying to trade any pharma stocks. Now, Novo on Monday said it is suing online telehealth provider HIMS and HERS for mass marketing cheaper unapproved copies of the drug maker's new wegovy obesity pill and injections in the US. Remember, there's always a lot of federal hoops that you have to jump through to make the initial go-to-market name brand medication. And oftentimes we'll see manufacturers chase generic alternatives that will come to market shortly after. But the thing you have to always realize is there's a duration where you can't use the exact same medication compound to then just change the name and put it to market and call it a generic without federal approval, especially if it's under patent protection. This is something that I actually would pay attention to when I was practicing as an active pharmacist back, again, just a few years ago now for me. So with that being said, when we see these kind of things happening, where generics are starting to come out, but with HIMS and HERS, it's very much different with how they are operating. And again, I'm not here to tarnish anything or attack any equities, because some of you might be invested in HIMS. I have friends of mine that are invested in HIMS. Personally, I am not. But the fact is, I'm not here to damage anything, but just talk about what the facts are. And you can't actually just go to market and say, hey, we're going to have a generic oral GLP-1 that's going to look just like wegovy. It's going to have the exact same excipients. It's going to have the same drug product in it, the GLP-1 itself, and all the other aspects of the medication ready for market without even looking at their patents and what they have protections against, like these kind of generic copies. Novo is asking the court to permanently ban HIMS from selling compounded versions of its drugs that infringe on the company's patents and is seeking to recover damages. This is a complete sham, and it has been a sham since the shortage ended, said John Kuckelman, Novo's Group General Counsel of Global Legal, Intellectual Property and Scrutiny, in an interview. The fact is, their medications are untested. They're putting patients at risk, he added, referring to how safety, efficacy, and quality of compounded medicines are not verified by U.S. regulators. But there's also compound rulings and compound added benefits that will save patients money oftentimes, and that will maybe put two drug products that are approved together into one entity, go ahead and bypass phase 1, phase 2, and sometimes even phase 3 clinical trials and go straight to market. Because it's not necessarily a new drug compound that is coming to the market. It's a few different ones that are already approved coming together. So oftentimes we will see manufacturers do that as well to take advantage. The fact that their medications are untested. So what he's worried about is all these things, but obviously we know more so than anything when it comes to safety, efficacy, which are also very important, by the way. We want to make sure any medication that people are taking have completed thorough investigations, especially in phase 3 clinical trials, and having patients at least attempt them and see how they do over time. But that, we know, the big thing is it caused a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt for Novo Nordisk investors, and people started paper-handing their positions with a downturning market. So it was just an unfortunate sequence of events. The move escalates the feud between Novo and HIMS, which said on Saturday it will stop offering its new copycat obesity pill after facing scrutiny from federal regulators and legal threats from the Danish drug maker. HIMS plan to offer the oral drug for as little as $49 for the first month, roughly $100 less than Novo's Wegovy pill product. And again, that is what caused panic. And I saw that in the comment section of my previous videos that I published last week about earnings and about what the current competitors are doing. So with that being said, I think right now, when we look at Novo Nordisk stock from a technical analysis perspective, if you guys just look at the price action, this is just looking at the Novo USD pair, you could see based off where we once were back in June of 2024, where we peaked right around $148, we entered into oversold territory, and I can show you guys here. What I always track for technicals are RSI. RSI basically shows us anything over 70 for this relative strength index. Anything over 70 means it's overbought. Too much demand in a short amount of time, causing the price to be overextended for a short period. And oftentimes when we see it enter into these extremes above 70 or oversold, which here we consider somewhere right around below 30, we actually entered that on February 5th, and that's why I flagged it as a buy on the channel. When I see assets that I hold long-term enter into RSIs that are below 30, that's when you guys will see me shout on the channel, this could be a good buy now. And guess what? We bounced off that 30 RSI. We actually fell right around to 27. In this oversold category, we bounced off of it, and right now we're sitting right around 40, which is still, again, when you look at it from the 30 to 70 range, we're still on the lower end of neutral RSI, which is 50. So I still would consider this a really good buy right now for those of you that are looking to double down and increase your position or establish a position in Novo Nordisk stock. So again, I hope you guys have been enjoying the content. It's been really awesome growing the channel. Right now, guys, we are sitting right around 411 subscribers. So thank you so much. Just a quick look at the dashboard basically. But yeah, this is where we're at. 411 subs for those of you that even care for this kind of stuff. We're seeing right around 16,500 views over the last 28 days with 816 watch hours. So we're approaching some pretty cool milestones. Hopefully we'll see 500 subs soon, then 1,000, then 10,000, and we keep on going forth. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for subscribing. And until next time, as always, everybody, keep investing. Peace.